Welcome back to part 3 of What If NBA Moments, where we will revisit some history-altering events that will underline just how impactful the playoffs are to the association and the game we all love. Crucial calls not only add drama to the story, but sometimes it becomes the story of the series, and sometimes even bigger than that. I mentioned in the previous videos that I won't be talking about Draymond Green hitting LeBron in the, well, you know where. But this list won't be complete if we do not talk about the 2016 Warriors' blown opportunity. All right, we all know what happened in Game 4, but just a quick recap to remind us of the context of what I'm saying here. Draymond Green was hit with a technical foul during the game. However, after the game, as per league assessment, the act warranted a flagrant 1, which automatically earned him a 1-game suspension on Game 5. You see, this alone is not the issue. Because if we'll be perfectly honest, Draymond deserved it. But what I'm really trying to hit here is, did the league actually play a hand here to stretch the series? Maybe to give LeBron a chance to prove his greatness? I mean, watch Game 6 and tell me that they played Steph Curry fairly. 2 quick fouls in the first quarter? While that might just be ticky-tack fouls, is it really a coincidence to have Steph Curry played the least in the first quarter of the entire series? All right, let's just say that those calls happened. But is that still the case in the fourth quarter? Not even 3 minutes in the final quarter, he was hit with his 5th foul. That wasn't even a foul. Then, just to really sap any chance of a Warriors comeback, the refs fouled him out with more than 4 minutes to go. Call it biased if you may, but try rewatching it and tell me otherwise. I mean, we all know what's at stake in this one: LeBron's legacy. The only time in NBA history that a single player led both teams in 4 major statistical categories: points, assists, steals, and blocks. Steph and the Dubs' 73-9 season had all the pieces to challenge the 96 Bulls. Not just with the record, but with how they've dominated the entire league this season. But well, we all know what happened. Anyway, I've been talking for quite a while now, and maybe all those controversial calls I mentioned on top are a good tease to this disgracefully called series, the 2006 NBA Finals. The stretch was when the NBA badly needed a star, and they created one in Dwyane Wade. The Detroit Pistons and the Spurs are arguably the NBA's best teams, but we all know that they're not all that marketable. The Suns are exciting, but they can't make it out of the loaded West. When talking about stars, this is the point in time when the league was still talking about who is the next Jordan. Kobe was supposed to be that, but between the messy breakup with Shaq and the still not-so-good new-look Lakers, he is just not quite the face of the league material yet. LeBron is still a young chap. Nash, the back-to-back MVP, isn't quite the material either. T-Mac, Vince Carter, KG, AI, even Dirk, the opposing superstar player, a clear bona fide MVP candidate in his own right, clearly was not also getting that recognition. Along comes D. Wade and the Heat. The series actually started in favor of the Mavs, with them leading 2-0. But then between a missed free throw and a failed lob attempt, the Heat were able to get one, and then the series started to really shift. We will get to the infamous free throw disparity, but let's head straight to Game 5's overtime when Dwyane Wade was on the line for 2 crucial free throws. This is the moment when you just want to pull your hair out in frustration at just how shameless these refs can be, giving the Dallas Mavericks a timeout after Wade's first shot at the line, even when then head coach Avery Johnson was clearly saving it after the second free throw. There's that, and of course, the sickening free throws that favored the Heat mightily. In the interest of time, let me just put it this way. Dwyane Wade attempted 25 free throws that night. That's the exact number of free throws that Dallas had. For the entire series, the Dallas Mavericks shot a total of 155 free throws with an average of 25.8. That number is meager compared to the opponent's total of 207, with an average of 34.5. That's almost 10 attempts per contest we're talking about right there. And just to be sure that data sinks in, remember that games 3, 5, and 6 were won by 3 points or less. So yeah, I leave the verdict to you. But certainly, The way we remember Dirk and D-Wade will be different if this series was called more fairly. Don't get me wrong, Dwayne Wade was a beast in this series, but because of the calls, some fans will always bring these facts against him. It's just sad that the farther we are removed from that series, as the replay qualities are more advanced with more critical eyes from the fans, we might remember it more for its ugly calls. But we can't just have this topic without going back to 2002. The LA Lakers versus the Sacramento Kings in the Western Conference Finals. Some might remember this series for Game 4, the Robert Horry 3. But for legions of hoop junkies, this is as big of a what-if as it gets. One of the heaviest fights in the early 2000s. The giant superstars in LA, Shaq and Kobe, versus the good collection of talents in Sacramento. For some, this might even look like Sodom and Gomorrah versus the Holy Land. The globally renowned LA Lakers versus the lowly Sacramento Kings. Compared to the prior seasons, this specific year felt like the year for the Sacramento Kings. They hold that season's best record while captivating the league with an unselfish, quick-paced attack that was really a fresh look for the league at that time. They were basically the 2002 version of the 2015 Golden State Warriors. And this team was legit up to this point. Held a 2-1 series lead to start, and came so close to being up 3-1, if not for the aforementioned Game 4-3 by Big Shot Bob. Game 5 was also played tight. It came down to a Mike Bibby jump shot and a defensive stance against Kobe. Unfortunately, this series will not be remembered for its competitiveness, stars performing at the highest level, or even the clutch moments, but for all the shady calls whistled in Game 6. Just take a look at this clear elbow by Kobe to Mike Bibby's nose. How about the questionable fouls on Doug Christie? And then there's the Kings centers Vlade Divac and Scott Pollard, who were in foul trouble early and in the entire game before ultimately fouling out. Chris Webber, Sacramento's all-star, even in the most crucial moments, with just over 3 minutes to go, can't even get a favorable call, and was called for an offensive foul for his 5th. And as if the fouls called on the Kings' front court that basically got them out of rhythm weren't enough, Shaq and Kobe alone actually had more free throws, 28 and 25, versus the Kings. That's a 40-25 advantage for the Lakers as a whole. This series got even more messed up years after when a former NBA referee with some dirty history, Tim Donaghy, confirmed that this game was actually fixed. On top of confirming what many fans believed for years, it also underlined the fact that the NBA badly needed to avoid a financial disaster of 2 small-market teams in Nets and Kings facing each other in the finals. In retrospect, this series not only cemented Shaq and Kobe's Hall of Fame career with a three-peat, but I guess even bigger, it put an indelible awareness to fans on the NBA's business side. Ultimately, these calls are close, but do I think the NBA is rigged? There are some instances that make you wonder, but I'm not there yet. I just think that they require some machinations to manipulate the game. And if a few do have the power to win a game, a series and ultimately a title still fall to the players. And that makes the NBA worth watching. But what do you think? Other crucial officiating? Let me know in the comments section and feel free to like and subscribe for more basketball content.